Hi there guys, and welcome to this video. So today I wanted to talk about something that I went through and I hear a lot of people talk about, and this is usually saying that I've got a bigger part than the other part in a muscle and I don't understand why. So we see this quite often with the chest, where some people will say, well, this side is bigger than the other, or with the shoulders, this shoulder is a bit higher than the other one. I don't understand why. So the first thing I want to say is that this usually happens for a lot of people. There will be some imbalances, and this is quite normal. Also, these things can appear, much more when you actually don't have much muscle. It's more visible, and as soon as you get bigger and more massive, usually, in my opinion, from my experience, this tends to not be as obvious as before. So now I want to say that obviously you should probably go see someone, a physiotherapist, just to check if you haven't got any sort of biological imbalance or some sort of pattern which happened growing up, etc., because this could come from there. But other than that, this is just totally normal, and oftentimes as well we will see people talking about how for example, their chest, they can have sort of like a hole here where it's actually not the two chest aren't actually bumping into each other, and there is a separation there. And this is actually pretty much genetics, where you actually don't have muscle here. Some people will have fill all these places here, all this room, and some others won't. And you shouldn't look at this as this looks bad. I don't think this looks bad. As soon as you put enough muscle on anyway, it will always look good once you lean down. And so this is just some things that you've got to accept, just like abs. Some people will have a 6-pack, others will have an 8-pack. It really depends on your genetics, so here you can't really do anything. So now my advice, if you do have a lagging part on one side, like the shoulders for example, you feel like you have a shoulder bigger than the other, or simply that a shoulder looks higher than the other, well, with time, when you build muscle, as I said, it kind of disappears, this look of there is a higher shoulder than the other. But what you can do is also look at your posture, try to look at yourself, film yourself, and see how you can, for example, just by standing up, by standing straight, you can actually realize that it looks a bit better. Maybe it's just over time you're used to be like that, and so standing up, going straight will probably help you over time. But other than this, I think if you're lagging one side, then it's not impossible to actually catch up on this lagging side. So with time, I advise you to first try to build more muscle in general and see how it looks after this. For example, this happened to me with playing tennis. I think I played tennis for 15 years, so I had obviously an arm that was slightly bigger than the other, and I think this will be like this for other people, but mine was quite a lot of difference. So my arms, on my right arm, I had 2 more centimeters, which is 1.5 inches more than the one on the left. And I think this was due to just using my right hand to play tennis, and that the left side were never used.
And that wasn't something else.
So usually the advice that we will have is simply to do more sets in one side, and actually the bro science will always say, well, stop training the other side and just train one side until you get this lagging part better. But in my opinion, you should still train the other one, or at least kind of like maintain it. You still want to like give it some work. You don't want to totally stop one side. I don't think it's very a work of balance going this way. It's better, I think, to work both sides and just to work one side a bit more than the other, but still work the other one. You don't fully want to stop. So what you can do is simply do more sets. I wouldn't advise to do more reps, etc. Just do more sets. More sets is actually more work. If you just do more reps, your muscle will just be like, well, this is some sort of high reps work. But no, what you want to do over time is simply more sets. I think that this is key to take this lagging part back on your side, and over time this will sort the balance and it will be better. Another thing that you can do is work on very high reps as well. So you do more sets, and you also do 1 or 2 sets, very high reps, 100 reps for example. So I could take the example for traps or for shoulders. Imagine you have your left side that is lagging and your right side trap and shoulders that are bigger. Well, what you can do is simply more sets, unilateral sets on your left part, and as well give it 1 or 2 sets where you go very high reps. I think this way you can actually get to fill these muscles that are not very responsive until now, to teach them or teach yourself and this muscle how to actually fill them, so you can actually work heavier on those afterwards and actually fully benefit. Because sometimes you actually never work on those parts, or like they're just not very receptive, and the fact that you're doing very high reps, you will learn how to fill them better, how to recruit them, and then you will benefit from it on your heavier sets. So this is something that I like to compare usually to steroid use, where some people actually blow up in the past, like traps where they have androgen receptors. And so here this is the bit of the same but in a natural way, where the only option to kind of match what happens with steroids and the androgen receptors is here to actually do very high reps. This is the natural way of recruiting some muscle that is lagging, in my opinion, or to make a muscle blow up, at least on an advanced level. Once you get more advanced, I think very high reps can be very interesting. But either way, if you're intermediate and you have a lagging part, I think that you should do very high reps, as well as doing more sets, and this will help you over time get back your lagging part. And on the other side, just do the normal sets that you normally do. Don't do too much, obviously, because you want to get back this balance. But yeah, more sets on one side, a few sets of high reps, and in the end I think you will get back this balance. So I hope this video was insightful. Go to the physiotherapist if you have nothing. If you've got nothing, then go on to this method that I just said, and if you didn't fully understand, then feel free to leave a comment and I'll try to help you the best I can.